Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Shyam Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Vrindavan Dham Vrindavan Dham Vrindavan Dham Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue reading from a Transcendental Diary of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes in Shivindavandam, compiled by His Grace Harisori Prabhu. Did someone else read? It's not where we were yesterday. Anyway, I will just... Aha. This is entitled Shivindavandam. Two former members of Guru Kripa Maharaj's Namhata party, Arjuna and Tamopaha Prabhu, arrived today. They were collecting in Japan, but now want to preach in the Philippines. They have come to Vrindavan to seek Srila Prabhupada's blessings and to resolve a thorny problem in their new preaching arena. Srila Prabhupada agreed to see them after his afternoon nap. Sitting behind his desk in his darshan room, a fresh garland around his neck, japa beads in hand, and a silver cup filled with fresh fruit juice on his desk. He listened as they explained how they wanted to preach in Cebu, a small island in the central part of the Philippines. They were concerned that Sudama Vipra Swami, one of the renegade sannyasis working with Siddha Swarupananda Maharaj, might cause them some problems because he has been in the Manila area for several years. He has a reputation for being violent. Indeed, at the last Gaura Purnima festival in Mayapur, he attacked another devotee and then sent a letter to Prabhupada threatening a fratricidal war against ISKCON members. At that time, Prabhupada had said that he was a gunda, a thug. So despite that fact that Sudama Vipa was on different island, the two men asked if Prabhupada would write a letter to Sudama Vipra requesting him to cooperate with them. Prabhupada was happy that they wanted to preach, and he encouraged them to chant and distribute small books and prasadam. He declined to give a letter for Sudama Vipra, however. He didn't think it was necessary. They have gone outside of our ISKCON line and cannot be relied on to cooperate with us. Hare Krishna. You should work independently from him. Srila Prabhupada went on to describe his own struggles to establish Krishna consciousness in New York in 1966 without money or help. In that 171st Street, all my things were stolen. My tape recorder, typewriter. Fortunately, they did not touch my manuscript that I was typing my books. So some money was stolen. Then one boy, he was coming to me, he told me, please come to my place, a loft, Bowery Street. I did not know the Bowery Street was not a good quarter, all bums and drunks. When I see the one Jewish friend, he had electric shop. He told me, Swamiji, you have gone to Bowery Street. Oh, it is not your place. I did not know that it is full of drunkards, but they were lying down in front of my door. But they were very respectful. When I'd go, these drunkards comes and they respectfully give me ways. And they would lie down on urine and something like that on water. Then the boy who took me there, he was Mari. His title was Mari, and he was taking LSD. So since I was there, he did not go to work. Otherwise, he was working and getting daily $25 in some dock he was working. Since I went, he stopped working and I had to pay $125 for the loft. One lady was the landlord. Yeah. So I was going on, some people were coming. That Mukunda began to come, his wife, and another black boy, half black, Yegen. I gave him name Kalapati. He was coming. Then one day that boy, Mari, he showed me some crazy features. So I thought it is dangerous to live with him. So I approached Mukunda. Mukunda had no place. Still I asked him. So I kept my goods at Mukunda's house and went to live with Yegen. That is another loft. Shilpa Gi. I see that Harisari Prabhu wrote it in really like that sort of broken English style. It's not, when you read, some of it doesn't flow like that. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayang Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kancharan Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So reading from the 7th canto, 5th chapter, Prahlad, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. Text 47, we will read until text 51, which has a purport. It would be good if we did text 51. Yeah. So text 47. Aprameya nubhavoyam akutas chidbayo maraha nunametad virodena mrityu me bhavita nava. Translation. I can see that this boy's strength is unlimited, for he has not feared any of my punishments. He appears immortal. Therefore, because of my enmity toward him, I shall die. Or maybe this will not take place. Text 48. Iti tat chintaya kinchin mlana shriyam ado mukam sandamaka vaso naso vivikta iti hochatu. Thinking in this way, the king of the Daityas, morose and bereft of bodily luster, remained silent with his face downward. Then Sanda and Amaka, the two sons of Shukracharya, spoke to him in secret. Jitam tvayake na jagatrayam bruvo vrijam bena trasta samasta disnyat pam. Natasya chintyam tavanata chakshave navai shishunam gunadoshayo padam. O Lord, we know that when you simply move your eyebrows, all the commanders of the various planets are most afraid. Without the help of any assistant, you have conquered all the three worlds. Therefore, we do not find any reason for you to be morose and full of anxiety. As for Prahlad, he is nothing but a child and cannot be cause of anxiety. After all, his bad or good qualities have no value. Text 50. Imam tu pasai varunasya badva nidehi bito na palayate yata buddhischa pungsa vayasarya sevaya yavad gurur bhagava agamishyati. Until the return of our spiritual master Shukracharya, arrest this child with the ropes of Varuna so that he will not flee in fear. In any case, by the time he is somewhat grown up and has assimilated our instructions or served our spiritual master, he will change in his intelligence. Thus, there need be no cause for anxiety. Text 51. Please repeat. Tateti Guru Putroktam Anugyayedam Abravit Dharmohyasya Padestavyo Ragyam Yo Grihamedinam Tata. In this way, iti, thus, Guru Putra Uktam, advised by Sanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya, Anugyaya, accepting, idam, this, abravit, said, dharmaha, the duty, he, indeed, asya, unto Prahlad, upadestavyaha, to be instructed, ragyam, of the kings, yaha, which, grihamedinam, who are interested in householder life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. After hearing these instructions of Sanda and Amaka, the sons of his spiritual master, Hiranyakashipu agreed and requested them to instruct Prahlad in that system of occupational duty which is followed by royal householder families. Purport. Hiranyakashipu wanted Prahlad Maharaj to be trained as a diplomatic king in ruling the kingdom, the country or the world, but not to be advised about renunciation or the renounced order of life. The word dharma here does not refer to some religious faith, as clearly stated, dharmo hyaso pade stavyo ragyam yo grihamedinam. There are two kinds of royal families, one whose members are simply attached to household life, and the other consisting of Raja Rishis, the kings who govern with ruling power but are as good as great saints. Prahlad Maharaj wanted to become a Raja Rishi, whereas Hiranyakashipu wanted him to become a king attached to sense enjoyment, Grihamedinam. Therefore, in the Aryan system, there is Vanashram Dharma, by which everyone should be educated according to his position in society's division of Vana, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. and ashrama, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. A devotee purified by devotional service is always in the transcendental position, above the mundane qualities. Thus, the difference between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu was that Hiranyakashipu wanted to keep Prahlad in mundane attachment, whereas Prahlad was above the modes of nature. As long as one is under the control of material nature, his occupational duty is different from that of a person not under such control. One's real dharma or occupational duty is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam stu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. As described to his order carriers by Dharmaraj or Yamaraj, a living being is a spiritual identity, and therefore his occupational duty is also spiritual. The real dharma is that which is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam braja. One must give up one's material occupational duties just as one must give up his material body. Whatever one's occupational duty, even according to the Varnashram system, one must give it up and engage in one's spiritual function. One's real dharma or occupational duty is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivera Sarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. That is one's real occupational duty. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Charu Swami Namineshni Jatita Supanita Bhagwanam Charu Saputam Paupadakata Pranam Nomi Bhakti Charu Padan. Hiranyakashipu is now in panic mode. Now picture Hiranyakashipu is the most feared leader of the demons and controller in the entire universe. He tried to kill his own son, but he has realized that this boy has unlimited strength. By his own words, he says, aprameya anubhava, that this boy has unlimited strength. And he has not been moved by any punishments that I've tried to deal to him. Therefore, he appears immortal. Remember that Hiranyakashipu himself wanted immortality. What did he ask from Brahma? I shall not be killed during the day or the night, inside or outside, on the land or in the sky or on water, by any human being or animal, by any man-made weapon. So he tried to get immortality, but Brahma said, I cannot give, I don't have either. But when he asked all of these things, he thought that he had tricked Brahma to give him immortality. But now, that same immortality that he wanted, he's seeing that his son seems to have this. Because I'm trying to kill him in so many ways, and I cannot. And this is creating fear in his heart. Yesterday, we entertained you by telling you the story of the sheep and the bull. That the small sheep is coming and attacking the bull, and the bull is standing his ground thinking, what is this nonsense? He goes back, he comes to knock him again, the bull. When he goes back the third time, then the bull starts to be afraid. How is this small sheep so fearless? Maybe he's got something I don't know. He may just end my life. So the bull turns around and runs. So this is now Hiranyakashipu. He's the big bull of the universe. And all of a sudden, the small sheep of his son Prahlad is unmoved, without fear. He cannot kill him. And now he is seeing that which he wanted for his son visiting him. He is saying, therefore, because of my enmity toward him, I shall die. Or maybe this will not take place. He is not sure anymore. It is the case that in this world, when we create enmity with others, we are simply acting out of envy. And that enmity hurts us. What is this verse? It says, one of the lines said, Atmakritam Vipakam. It's about tolerance. The first line, Shushamik Samanu, how does it start? Tatenu kampam Shushamik Shamanu, Bunjana Evatmakripam Vipakam. That Atmakritam Vipakam means all our problems are caused by ourselves. When I punch you, boom, I am simply punching myself. Because if I punch you, then action means there must be opposite reaction. Therefore, this teaching, even by that verse, that one should learn to tolerate patiently all the sufferings, or what Jesus Christ said, if one smacks you on this one cheek, you should turn the other cheek. This is high-grade understanding, because if you get punched and you think, oh, who has done this to me? And you punch back, then when the person was finishing off the cycle of your activity, giving you back your karma, you have now started again another cycle. So another punch will have to come to you. So Hiranyakashipu, trying to kill his son, is seeing that I cannot kill him, maybe that means I shall die. His activity of envy against his own son will come to him. So one who's envious of others, that envy hurts him. Who is a typical example? Duryodhana. Duryodhana was heavily envious of the Pandavas. Why? Because the Pandavas, they displayed exceptional qualities. Bhima, he was like powerful with the mace, and he was so strong in wrestling that even as kids, he would wrestle all of them, pick them up, throw them here and there. Duryodhana didn't like that. Ugh. Arjuna, he was fantastic with his bow and arrow. And he was envious of his prowess. Yudhishthira was very dharmic, truthful, gentle behavior, loved by all the superiors. Duryodhana didn't like that. And so he schemed and plotted how to get rid of his cousins. But at the end, we see that at Kurukshetra, he had lost everything. So, by his own envy, he created a fire that burnt up the entire dynasty, including himself. Now here, Hiranyakashipu is envying a Vaishnav also. And he's trying to kill a Vaishnav. So this is big offense. And this is not just at the level of Hiranyakashipu, it can happen to us. So now the king has become morose. His body is losing luster. He became pale, like someone who saw a ghost. He's now silent. Big guy. Now all that bravado is gone, because he can see, here I've met a match bigger than my own strength. When his morose face looking down, then the sons of his guru come to console him, Sanda and Amaka. Don't worry, my lord. You are the most powerful. Everybody is afraid of you just by your movement of your eyebrows. So if you have cheerleaders, yes men, people who don't give good advice, they say, with such friends, who needs enemies? Instead of giving him real advice, like, look, now what you're doing is wrong. This boy is protected by Lord Vishnu. He cannot be killed. You should apologize to him and try to serve him. They remind him that, no, you are very powerful. Everyone's afraid of you. This boy is simply a boy. What harm can he do? Anyway, now he's displaying bad qualities. But if you give him back to us, we will train him. And later on, as he grows up, he will forget all these devotional sentiments. So we are seeing a conflict. The father wants the boy to be a demon like himself. But the son, because he has heard from Narada Muni in the womb of his mother, he has a different interest in life. He is interested in devotional service. So conflict is necessary in this material world. It cannot be avoided, especially it is said, once there's more than one person in a room, then there must be some conflict of interests. We hear of the chaste lady who was visited by some saintly persons, and then to prepare some meal for them, she had to go into the back room, but because they were poor, she had to still grind the flour, but she had her bangles there. And in order for them not to hear that she's working hard, pounding, she had to remove and break off some of the bangles. She removed one, but still there was sound. She removed the other until she was left with one on each side. There we are learning. Once there's more than one, then friction, conflict. How will that conflict be resolved? In our Bhakti, we understand, as Srila Prabhupada writes, the constitutional position of everyone is to be the eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Sarupa Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. Now Hiranyakashipu has been deviated from his constitutional position. Instead of being Das, he wants to be Master, Prabhu. And he wants everyone else to be his Das. When Prahlad wants to be situated as Das, Hiranyakashipu doesn't want him to be the Das of Vishnu, but he wants him to be his own Das. So definitely there is conflict. And because they do not agree, because he cannot get his way, he is now morose, he is now anxious. The world is currently undergoing an upturn of anxiety disorders. People are anxious. And it's a pandemic of sorts. Mental disease, unable to focus, insomnia, anxiety, stress. And all of these are symptoms of dis-ease within the mind. When the mind has no final goal, then it is always agitated. For the mind to be peaceful, there must be a final goal. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport of Bhagavad Gita 266 that for want of a final goal, an ultimate goal, then the mind is not peaceful. Therefore, the mind, Savaimana Padara Vindayo, Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvanane, like Ambarish Maharaj, his mind was fully absorbed in the service of Krishna. With all his senses, his body, he served the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he was peaceful. And Krishna is saying, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. That you always think of me. So that means the mind has to be occupied fully in Krishna. Otherwise, an idle mind is a devil's workshop, they say. When you don't have nothing to do, no absorption, then the mind starts to be creative. But its creativity is influenced by the mode of passion, and it can degrade to ignorance. Therefore, it has to be absorbed in a higher occupation. In today's purport, then it is discussed what are the occupational duties. All of this is how the mind can be engaged according to individual psycho-physical nature. The Varnashram system has been given. 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams. All of this is so that the human being can be engaged in a positive direction to make advancement. Now, Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu, they are in the royal order. They are Kshatriyas. And Srila Prabhupada makes a distinction that Hiranyakashipu, he's interested in materialistic household life. He wants to continue the life of Griyamedi. Griyamedi means the Griya, the home, becomes the central point of his life. And in that household life means one is revolving around the objects of sense enjoyment, which are Sutta, Apta, and the wife, and the furniture, and the property. So all his endeavors are how to enjoy his senses, and therefore Griyamedi. The other side is Grihastha. When there's spiritual life, then one's Griha is a place of spiritual purification, elevation, a place of service. Now there's another conflict. Milk is one thing, Coca-Cola is another. If you try to mix Coca-Cola and milk, you can force some sort of enjoyment out of it, but it just doesn't work together. So yes, we have Coca-Cola Hiranyakashipu, and we have Ahimsa, milk, Prahlad Maharaj. It doesn't mix. There's a conflict. Although they are all following their desires, one is following desires that are leading to degradation, the other is following desires that are leading to enlightenment. Shishi Vijay Gauranga Dai Nitai Ki. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions that Dharma has to be followed. What is this Varnashram Dharma? Dharma cannot be manufactured at home, Srila Prabhupada would say. You can make your own religion at home. Maybe you can follow it and you can force your family members, but it cannot hold. If you can get 1,000 people, 10,000 maybe, but there will be no real result. Because Dharmanstu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Dharma actually are the codes that are given by Bhagavan. Then they give a fruit. So the real occupational duty is that one must give up materialistic endeavors. That is Krishna's final instruction. Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. So generally this causes great doubt in people. What does this mean? I should not be financially viable? Should I not be employed? What does this giving up of all dharma mean? So I will ask this question to you, devotees. I see none of you are maybe wearing the official uniform of renunciation. You are all seemingly within the householder ashram. What do you understand of this verse? When Krishna said, Sarvadharman parityaja, give up everything, surrender. Yes, Mataji.
One of his lectures, I think I've forgotten the year, Los Angeles or everybody was giving a lecture and she was saying to his disciples at the end of the lecture.
Srila Prabhupada is giving a lecture and I'm just repeating for the mic, yes.
He said to his disciples, so you should utilize everything for Krishna, that means Bhakti.
Utilize everything for Krishna.
His words, utilize.
Yes, utilize.
Utilize.
Yes.
Utilize in German. Utilize everything for Krishna, that means Bhakti. To utilize.
Okay. So what about give up? So we're not giving up, we are utilizing everything. Yes, Prabhu.
But there is nothing to give up, because there is nothing what belongs to us.
So Krishna is just speaking as a joke, saying give up. There's nothing to give up, Krishna. Why are you telling us to give up?
We think that there is something what belongs to us, that we have to give up.
Yes, it's given the joke. The man walks into the bank and says, I renounce this bank. And everyone laughs. You renounce this bank? It was never yours. And to him, what do you mean you renounce it? So this, anyone else wants to share? Sarvad.
You get also up your false ego, because false ego is also connecting to what's everything you think it's mine. Because when you give up your false ego, you automatically, by Krishna, by the Lord.
Then you go back to your Sarup as Das, Nitya Das. Yes, so many times Prabhupada would also say, all your ideas of gain and safety, because the different dharma, different occupational duties, is that we are trying to gain something by religiosity, by proper artha, by sense gratification, by even moksha. So all of these are within the material sphere. And the most important part there is this Sharanam Vraja. Mamekam Sharanam. So you surrender to me alone. So this surrender will mean whatever is now being done by the surrendered soul is no longer part of the materialistic endeavor. It enters the realm of bhakti. This would be, then one has given up the mentality that something belongs to him. One has given up the false identity, I am this body, I am this mind. And one has given up the improper utilization of material facility. So all three, Sarvadharma. So Srila Prabhupada here has written in his first line that Hiranyakashipu wanted Prahlad Maharaj to be trained as a diplomatic king, but not to be advised about renunciation or the renounced order of life. So it is natural on the material platform. Srila Prabhupada said also, even he was having trouble with the parents of his disciples. We know the parent of Giriraj Maharaj. They came to Mumbai and they were offering him, you come back home, you inherit everything and you enjoy. They were willing also to pay Prabhupada to release him. Prabhupada said, it's up to him. And he was choosing Srila Prabhupada and he was trying to pacify the parents. Now I'm his spiritual master, now I'm his father. I will take good care of him. I think the parents of Sachidananda Maharaj also had come. And the father gave a good example that like a crocodile of the Rhine River cannot do well in the Ganges. Trying to say, my boy belongs here in Germany, It's for Western culture. You are trying to put him now in this Eastern culture. Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada was saying like that. So this mood of parents having their own mission for their children is natural on this. Otherwise, people would not have kids. They're having children because they have a desire to see them grow, bring some name and fame to the family, bring some money, bring some offspring, grandkids, and the rest. And so, Srila Prabhupada said, just like Narada Muni, who was cursed by Daksha. Daksha came and preached. Well, Narada Muni preached to 10,000 sons of Daksha. Daksha, his plan was they should be married and populate the universe. Narada preached to them, they became renunciates. He tried to tolerate a little bit, okay, he's sadhu, Then he made another 1,000 sons, and then again Narada Muni came and preached to them, and they gave up the plan of being grihastas set by their father. And then he lost it. Then he cursed. Just as you have spoiled the life of my boys, you will not be able to enjoy any household situation, not even for 3 days. So Srila Prabhupada said, now, as followers of Narada Muni, I have inherited this curse. And you, my disciples, I was telling all the sannyas, you are to inherit this curse. The sannyasis, they fired up at the time. They say, Jai Prabhupada. As we heard in the diary, that Prabhupada's disciples always were planning where to go and preach. This is the curse or the benediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They wanted to preach here in Manila, well, in Philippines. So there's one island there. I don't know, it's called Cebu, or I don't know how to pronounce Cebu. But one of their godbrothers who was a little bit more fired up and even violent was already preaching in Manila, capital side of Philippines. And they're trying to get Prabhupada to give them a peace letter. Talk to him so that he doesn't fight us. But the thrust is that they wanted to go and establish Krishna consciousness. That means they got the blessing curse very well. They were going everywhere to preach. So, in conclusion, whatever one's occupational duty, even according to the Varnashram system, one must give it up and engage in one's spiritual function. See, Prabhupada is really ramping up things. And therefore the spiritual function is Chivera Sopa Krishna Nitya Das, acting as a servant of Krishna. That is taught by the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, by service to Guru and Krishna, one can perfect his occupational duty. When it is not informed by the spiritual objective, even if performed perfectly, Dhamma sanustista pungsa vishvaksena kataya suyat. Not parayet yadiratim shama eva hikevalam. So all Dhamma, it can be done so nicely, according to one's occupational duty, yes, one is performing. But if it does not arouse attraction to the message of Hari, then it is useless endeavor. This is the point. And so we don't want to waste our lives. We want to gain, and if we want the highest gain, then devotional service is the recommendation of this verse. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anyone with any comment, question? As we get closer to the goal of this morning, Krishna Prasadam. All right, everybody, please raise your hands and chant together, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. So thank you very much. Ki Jai Ho. Oh, this one is cold, coldy.